Good morning, students. Hariom. As today we are going to continue with the topic that is wildlife conservation of geography, chapter number 9. So, before studying this topic that is wildlife conservation, let us see it is celebrated on which day. As World Wildlife Day is celebrated on 3rd March and World Wildlife Conservation Day is celebrated on 4th December. So remember these two dates, that is 3rd March and 4th December. 3rd March you have World Wildlife Day and 4th December is World Wildlife Conservation Day. Now, before studying this topic in detail, that is measures of prevention of wildlife, let us go through this slogan. Now, what does this slogan says to us? That don't be wild to wildlife. Don't be wild to wildlife. We have to save the wildlife. We don't have to become wild on this wildlife. Now, as the youth icon of our country, India, youth for wildlife conservation, it's our duty, it's our right to preserve. We have to arrange some measures for preservation of this wildlife. Okay, so if you look at the Constitution of India, that is in Article 51A, the G point, okay, which is mentioned in fundamental duty, represents that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for all living creatures. So, this has been mentioned in our fundamental duties that it is the duty of every citizen of India to measure for the prevention of wildlife. Save animals. As it is said, save animals. As our Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru said, life will be very dull and colorless if we did not have these magnificent plants, animals, and birds to look and play with. So, save animals. So, what we have to do? We have to save animals. Let us start with an introduction part that animals, birds brighten our lives. There are many number of species of animals on earth from millions of years ago. In last few hundred years, they began to disappear one by one with a sickening speed due to the human activities like deforestation, overhunting, polluting of environment. This is causing destruction for wildlife. So now the time has arisen where we have to create measures for preservation of wildlife. Now let us study about first, that is the endangered animal, that is things to know, that is red panda. Now when we talk about red panda is found in the cold forest of eastern Himalaya. Where it is found? It is found in the eastern Himalaya, that is towards the cold forest. Now what is the food of this red panda? What does he eats? He eats bamboo sprouts, eggs, small birds, insects, etc. This is the food of red panda. Now it is said that red panda is less active during the day. Now the meaning of less active is unenergetic and lazy. Means he does not work during the day. Whatever activeness he is having during the night time. So it is said that it is less active during the day. Now besides India, the red panda is also found in China, Nepal, Bhutan, and Myanmar. So this was just a thing to know about the red panda. Now coming on to our main topic, that is measures of preservation of wildlife. Now if you see the first measure, that is the biggest change needed to preserve the wildlife, is to change our attitude towards forest. What we have to do, we have to change our attitude. Now what is attitude? Attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about something. So we have to think and we have to feel about the forest. Okay, we have to make a biggest change to preserve the wildlife, and for that we have to change our attitude. We consider forest as a source of unlimited income. We are thinking that forest is a source from where we can earn more and more, that is an unlimited income. So what we do, we keep on exploiting them to the maximum capacity. We keep on exploiting means, exploit commonly means that to selfishly take advantage of someone in order to profit from them or otherwise benefit of oneself. So what we are doing, we are doing disadvantages to forest. Okay, we are taking advantage of forest for what? For profit and for benefit for ourselves. That is called as exploitation, and we are exploiting the forest for an unlimited source of income, for the benefit, for the development, and to a maximum capacity. Now the second point represents that we need to understand the forest resource. What we have to understand is that we have to understand that forest resources are limited. It is very little, it is not too much. We have to understand it, and for that, hence we must preserve it. What we have to do, we must preserve. Wildlife will be saved when you can do the preservation of wildlife. When it can be saved, it can be only saved if their natural habitat, that is forests, are safe. If we save their natural habitat, that is their house, home, abode, then only the forest will be, then only the natural habitat will be saved, if we save their forest. Now it is very much necessary to keep the balance, but we have to keep the balance of what? The balance between the number of herbivorous and the carnivorous in the forest should be maintained. Why? Because herbivorous animals are those animals whose primary food source is plant based, means an animal that feeds on plants. These animals have digestive system capable of digesting large amount of plant material. The digestive system is so strong, it is so capable of digesting large amount of plant material. And carnivorous animals are those animals that they are eating animals. And actually this word carnivore is derived from Latin, and that means meat eater. That means what? Meat eater. So we have to keep the balance between herbivorous and carnivorous. That is, one is food source is plant based and another is they are eating animals. So it is very much necessary to keep the balance in number of herbivorous and carnivorous in the forest. It should be maintained. Now active steps. Active steps means we have to involve, we have to be spotty, we have to play an important role. So this type of active steps like maintaining the water sources in the forest, we have to maintain the ponds. Okay, we have to restrict the grazing of domestic animals in the forest. We don't have to allow the animals to go and graze in the forest. Why? Because we have to maintain the balance over them. Okay, so active steps like maintaining the water sources in the forest and restricting the grazing of domestic animal in forest should be taken to maintain this balance. After that, the very next important point is strict law should be framed. Strict law should be framed. Framed means set up. We have to make strict law. After setuping, we have to impose. Impose means we have to force and implement against hunting. Implement means we have to apply, put into effect. So strict law must be framed, imposed and implement. But on whom? Against hunting. The people who are hunting, on them the strict law should be framed. imposed and implemented. People should be heavily punished. Why they should be punished? People should be heavily punished. But for what? People should be heavily punished for illegal mining. Illegal mining means unlawful and criminal. Unlawful and criminal. For what purpose they should be punished? They should be punished for illegal mining in the forest area. Okay. Next important point is animals should not be disturbed. Animals should not be disturbed during their procreative period. Animals should not be disturbed during their procreative period. Procreative period means producing new life. Procreative period means producing new life. Whenever they are producing the new life, we did not have to disturb them. Necessary arrangements should be made to see that human interference means human involvement does not occur in such time when they are producing a new life. We should not keep any involvement over there. Next, the effect of fisheries. Now, the effect of fisheries means overfishing can result in the overexploitation of marine ecosystem. If we do overfishing, what will happen? We will do overexploitation of marine ecosystem. Fishing can cause several negative physiological as well as psychological effect for fish population also, because what happens, it increases the stress level, and what happens, the body get injuries resulting from that logged fish hooks. Whatever that fish hooks we are putting to catch the fish, it creates an injuries to their bodies. So effects of fisheries, forest gatherings or tourisms. Forest gatherings, that is for your devotional purpose, and for the tourism on the forest should be studied regularly. It should be examined. Why? Because after doing that outcome of the study, whatever necessary changes should be made in the rules and law. Next point, programs should be arranged. We have to arrange the program. Why? Because we have to bring the awareness amongst the society. We have to keep them aware. We have to make them aware that what is the importance of forest and wildlife. What will happen if we will destroy the forest? Global warming can take place. We can have a greenhouse effect. So it's our duty to do the arrangement to bring the awareness in the society regarding the importance of forest and wildlife. And the last most important point is that if the wildlife protection force is inactive, means whoever is working under the protection force of wildlife, if they are inactive means if they are not energetic, if they are not working properly, okay, so then the force should be pressurized, means it's our duty that we have to force them to give priority means the first concern to wildlife and forest protection. Means we have to create a pressure over them. We have to force them that you give the first concern. It's your first duty to protect the wildlife and to protect the forest. So this was all about your preservation of wildlife. These were the measures of preservation of wildlife. Now moving on further, that is, as I told you that endangered animals, the first one which we have studied about was of red panda. Now let us study about the second, that is things to know, is about the Ganga river dolphin, that is Platanista gangetic. Okay, Platanista gangetic. Now when you talk about this Ganga river dolphin, the South Asian river dolphin is an endangered freshwater or river dolphin found in the region of Indian subcontinent, which is split into two subspecies. Now dolphin has two subspecies, the Ganga river dolphin and the Indus river dolphin. Now the Ganga river dolphin is grey in color and the Indus river dolphin is pinkish in color. Now the scientific name of this is Platanista gangetic. Okay, what is the scientific name? Platanista gangetic, and the class is of mammal. So now let us study about this Ganga river dolphin. Now when we talk about this Ganga river dolphin, okay, it's an important point, okay, that is things to know, and it is very much important for us to know about it. So the Ganga river dolphin is a type of freshwater river dolphin found in India, Nepal and Bangladesh. In India it is found in Brahmaputra and Ganga. Few dolphins are found in Chambal river. Generally, it lives in the river which is deep and calm. Now, deep means extending far down from the top surface. And calm means quiet and peaceful. So, generally, where does it live? It lives in the places of the river which is deep and calm. Although Ganga is deep and calm at various places, but it flows through India, which is one of the densely populated region in the world. Densely means more populated region in the world. Now India releases a very large amount of dirty water in the river. Means what India is doing is throwing out. It throws out a large amount of dirty water, okay, in the river. That is through industrial waste. That is what? Industrial waste. Now, moreover, sedimentation. Sedimentation means the action or process of forming or depositing. Okay, sedimentation means the action or process of forming or depositing sediments. It is a process of settling. So, what happens? The sedimentation due to deforestation, then fisheries, navigation in the river. Navigation means it's a map reading, wayfinding. It is a process or activity of accurately ascertaining one's position and planning and following a route. That is called as navigation in the river. Then we throw out all the waste material of the industrial, and this together cause severe danger to the extinction of this dolphin. Means it is on the way to finish off of the dolphin. That is extinction of this dolphin. These dolphins comes to the surface quite frequently. They are coming quite frequently to the surface of the, okay, they come quite frequently to the surface. For what purpose? For breathing purpose. While breathing, now remember this point, it is very important. Dolphins while breathing, they make shh shh type of sound. Which type of sound? Shh shh type of sound. And because of this typical sound, it makes this dolphin known as shons, susu and shuis. Because of the sound, that is shh shh, because of this typical sound, it makes dolphin known as shons, susu and shuis. This was all about your Ganga river dolphin, that is Platanista Gangetica. Okay, this was two animals, that is red panda and Ganga river dolphin, that is things to know. Okay, thank you very much.